Hi there, Liam O'Gogan here from the research project Does It Matter? This video you're about to watch is an updated and edited version of an earlier video which lasted 4 minutes, which was essentially a warning video about a breach of personal data that had taken place by the Central Statistics Office in Ireland in the run-up to the census of 2016 being undertaken on Sunday the 24th of April 2016. In spite of the fact that in the first 24 hours of this video being published there were only 80 viewings of this video, I received a takedown complaints notice from the YouTube support team on the 25th of April at 17:09, which gave me 48 hours to either remove the video or have it subsequently reviewed with the possibility that it would be removed by YouTube themselves, and a link to a set of operational guidelines that YouTube videos are to adhere to. According to the YouTube operational guidelines, the 48-hour grace period provided for me would expire later today at 17:09 on the 27th of April. I was therefore most surprised when I woke up this morning in Ireland around 9 o'clock to read an email sent to me by the YouTube team at 0:38 hours this morning, some 16 hours and more before the deadline of expiry as notified to me by YouTube. This email informed me that my video had been reviewed and removed from YouTube. It had been decided that this removal would have no negative impact on my standing with YouTube in terms of having any strikes against me. I have written a detailed response email to the unknown people behind these decisions in YouTube, which I will address in a separate video, the link to which I will append in the description below when I have that work completed. I explained in my communication to them that over the last 2 days I have been studying and evaluating the complaints, guidelines, principles and experiences of others who have had their material taken down from YouTube in order to design and plan a strategic response which would retain the integrity and honour of my original objective in creating this video. It is important for me also to emphasise that following the discussion on the National Irish Radio Broadcasting Station Radio na Gaeltachta yesterday, wherein this issue was discussed for a period of 16 minutes, I can safely say that it has been established beyond reasonable doubt that this breach of security by the Central Statistics Office did in fact happen. This is very important in terms of the content which I originally published on YouTube, particularly in the light of the fact that the day after my publication, the Chief Statistician of the Central Statistics Office went on the Irish National Broadcasting radio station RT1 on a programme called Morning Ireland, and on 2 consecutive occasions in a relatively short interview emphatically stated that the CSO had never released the personal details of any individual in the state. I realised from the beginning that I would be faced with the understandable reluctance of ordinary members of the Republic in believing me, an ordinary citizen, against the word of the reputable Chief Statistician of the Central Statistics Office, unless I had specifically placed in public view and beyond reasonable doubt my actual evidence of the breach of data in this case, which is what was contained in the original video. I explained to the YouTube support team my intention to update and edit this original video, wherein I would take steps to blur out the specific personal details which had been identified in the original video, while providing a contextual explanation for the reasons for the change, while confirming to the viewer that the accuracy of the evidence referred to had been substantiated in another reliable forum. I would set out in the updated and edited video to remain within the confines of the guidelines as set out by YouTube. I now invite you, the viewer, to watch the video, and where it comes to the point where I have inserted the edited blurs, I will pause the video and make a short commentary at those 2 points, and then subsequently at the end of the video I will make some commentary about this whole complaints process and its implications for the whole area of accountability within public service networks in Ireland. Today, Sunday the 24th of April 2016, is Census Day. You are required, under penalty of law, where you can be fined up to €44,440 if you don't do so, to fill in your census form. On the other hand, confidentiality of the privacy of your data is guaranteed for 100 years by legislation, and this is signed off by Pádraig Dalton, the Director General of the CSO. This is the most invasive census ever, with 24 pages of questions inquiring into the most private details of your personal life, compared to the single-page census form required back in 1901. Do you feel confident that the Central Statistics Office will respect your right to privacy and prevent any data breach of your personal details? If so, you are wrong. The following brief expose is direct evidence of unprofessional, corrupt conduct within the Central Statistics Office. This data breach has been carried out by senior officials, and other senior officials, including specifically the Director General of the CSO, Pádraig Dalton, are cognizant of this material and to date have not shown the leadership necessary to get in front of this problem, address the serious public interest issues concerned, and prevent further damage to the public trust in having their data securitized, which is supposed to be guaranteed for 100 years. In preparing this exposition of the breach of personal data by the CSO, I have prepared a comprehensive report in support of the evidence, which you will find in the link below at issue.com, where you can read the detail of correspondence between myself and the CSO in relation to this matter. As part of my querying the interview process for the role of census enumerator in West Donegal, senior officials within the CSO released to me scoring matrix details of the interview, which was supposed to include the marks achieved by every individual, including myself, with the specific caveat by me that I would not be provided by personally identifiable material. On the screen you will see the PDF document which was released to me. You will notice in the PDF black areas which are supposed to be redacted sections privatizing the personal detail of other candidates as against myself. For the next 15 seconds or so, I have blurred out what could potentially be seen as identifiable information of specific individuals. You will notice that they are not entirely black, and if you zoom into the page, simply press Ctrl+ on your computer. Slowly but surely you will begin to have exposed to you the various names of the people and their details. You'll start seeing the names, as you can see on your screen yourself. I suggest you confirm this for yourself by downloading the PDF from the website in the link given below. Simply highlight the data with your mouse, right-click, copy it as a table, and then insert it into a spreadsheet. For the next 20 seconds or so, I have blurred out the personally identifiable details of the candidates. Lo and behold, as you will then see, all of the personal details of all the candidates involved at this interview, as well as my personal details. Again, we can zoom in to these individuals. You can see their PPSN numbers, their first name, second name, their full address, their marks for each segment, and their total marks have now been made public information, and according to a previous decision by the Information Commissioner's representative, is now understood to be available to the whole world. Please note that the CSO, for the next 8 seconds or so, again I have blurred out the details from the extracted spreadsheet identifying the personal names, addresses and social service numbers of the individual candidates. Senior officials have released this information into the public domain directly in the middle of quite a tense investigation by me into the outcome of an interview when they were supposed to be paying attention. What do you think is likely to happen to your data over the next 100 years? Do you feel confident about filling in your census form in the belief that your data will be securitized? I don't. I find in conscience that I cannot fulfill a census form if that is the situation. The question is, does it matter? It does matter to me. You must decide for yourself. Liam O'Gogan here from the research project Does It Matter? Thank you for watching. Okay, thanks everyone who has stayed so far to view the video. I hope you accept that the personal details of the specific candidates have now been blurred such as to make them unidentifiable. I have explained within the document how the material on which this argument is based is available up on Issue Online, and you're welcome to explore and examine the detail to confirm the veracity of the evidence which I presented. A couple of comments that I'd like to make here in relation to accountability within the public services in Ireland. The first thing is that I've presented evidence here of a breach of data by the Central Statistics Office, and in another parallel video I have played the recording from the National Broadcasting Station in Ireland on Monday the 26th of April 2016, wherein the Chief Statistician from the Central Statistics Office claimed on 2 consecutive occasions that the Central Statistics Office have never ever breached or released personal data. So there's a contradiction there. You need to work out not so much who you believe, because I've given the evidence, but what are the implications for your trust in the retention of your data. The second thing is that this release of this data occurred during my interrogation of the fairness or otherwise of a process of appointment, interviewing and appointment for a job of enumerator. And I believe that the evidence which I have unearthed so far creates at the very minimum suspicion, and in my review, which I'll carry out in other forensic detailed analysis, suggests that there is at least a corruption in the fairness of due process in relation to the appointments of those jobs. But more importantly is the evidence based on the data which I have gleaned of the corporate response within the senior management of the CSO, either by omission to act in a responsible leadership role, or else by commission to have participated in the unfairness of the original interview and evaluation process, or else in my citizen attempts to have a due process and fair review in a timely manner of my experience of the job appointments process. My next step in the stage of researching and analysing this experience will be to create forensically analysed videos about the recorded conversations I have had with various officials during the process of me seeking a proper review of my interview experience. It is of some concern to me as I approach this process as to how the guidelines supposedly operational within YouTube will invoke the potential banning of these videos purely on the basis that of necessity the specific individuals who are public officials acting in their public office, not in a private role, will be obviously named and identified by me. And if it is so that I cannot proceed within this procedure within YouTube, I'll have to find another vehicle to do it. But I'd ask you, the viewer, just to reflect on the safeness of the world that we live in if YouTube are going to act in such a overpowering, restrictive way, which would have the effect of supporting those who want to suppress the truth. Anyway, for now, from Liam O'Gogan from the research project Does It Matter, thanks for your attention. I hope this information has been of some value to you.